What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Tarun's Thoughts. My name's Tarun Shetty. This is Florida, everyone. I'm in Florida. I'm drinking coffee with Baileys. That's how I start my mornings now. I drink alcohol, which is kind of funny because I never used to really drink before, but now I'm just like, screw it. Who cares at this point? I really wonder if this is the end of my performance career because it's funny. I was in California and like you're just like always thinking about what can you do next? How can you make a video? How many likes is thing? And really, that's kind of just nullified here in Florida. I'm just like outlining stuff, and I try to write every day and I read every day, but I'm not really doing anything, to be honest, except for drinking alcohol and just outlining ideas. My mom was even telling me, she's like, dude, you got to get your life back on track. And I was like, okay. So I'll probably start doing stuff. But I did cut off all my hair, so I don't even look the same. So who cares? Anyways, a friend of mine was like, hey, you should make a segment or a recording about anxiety, stage anxiety, because I have been performing. I mean, I was performing for over 20 years. I've done every show possible, I think, corporate shows overseas for the troops, live shows. I've done TV stuff, and I am a guy who's riddled with anxiety. I don't know if it shows on screen, but I do have a lot of anxiety, especially when I perform, when I do anything, and I'll tell you how I deal with it. Again, this is just how I deal with it. You can take it however you want it, but number one, not to use a bad sports analogy, but like Joe Namath says, preparation is everything. And that's really true for me. I'm not a natural performer. I'm not Robin Williams. I know my strengths. I know my weaknesses. I'm a good writer, but I'm not a natural performer. So I just have a roadmap and I have everything written out. Like I know my jokes. I know where I want to go. And then if you perform enough, it kind of becomes second nature and you go back and forth and you kind of have this, it makes me feel comforted to know that I have something to fall back on. And that goes for even like panel stuff. Like I was doing that thing on Showbiz India this weekly thing. And even though it was like 5 minutes, I knew exactly what I wanted to talk about. I had like jokes written out. I knew exactly like what I wanted to say. You get one shot. So I want to make sure that I'm well prepared and I have stuff to say. Even like when I shoot like a web series, like I have such anxiety like when I shoot stuff because I'm afraid like even if I'm not in front of the camera, I'm worried that I'm not going to get the shot. I'm not going to have enough stuff to edit with. So that's why I'm always like shooting extra. I try to map out the shots in advance. I have a script for sure. Like we improvise, but there's definitely a skeleton. So I would say the preparation thing is essential for me. It's essential and it saved me so much headache. Even like, Jerry Seinfeld, who's a performer, he's not the funniest guy, but the guy prepares like crazy. Like he's writing jokes every day. He's taking the proper steps. So, and I think that's really why he's so successful because, yeah, you got to get lucky, but that preparation thing is huge. Even like right now in Florida, like I want to write this thing next month. So I'm outlining everything in advance. So I'm not going to freeze in front of my computer. So I think the preparation thing can apply in every area of your life, not just live performance, but like the writing, shooting, acting, whatever it is you're doing, auditions, you got to prepare for that stuff. Like it's so important. I mean, my number one thing is showing up. Actually showing up and not crossing over that line. That's another segment. Number two, you have to be able to let go. Right? After you do take all the preparation, you show up, you've got to let go and just be like, all right, I've done everything possible. I've actually done everything and there's going to be an X factor here. Something's probably going to go wrong and I've got to be able to be in the moment because at the end of the day, it's probably not going to be the best thing. Even if you shoot for 100%, it'll probably be around like 70 or 80, right? But that's pretty good. I mean, that's a pretty good stat. Shoot for the stars and you come up a little short. That's a pretty good percentage. I remember when I was shooting like that reality show and they were like, oh, you have to do this performance thing, dance performance. Dude, I must have rehearsed all day with these dancers. And then I went home and rehearsed in my garage for 2 hours. So not only did I prepare, when I showed up, I was like, all right, my dance partner might suck, but it's okay. She's probably not going to be as good as the choreographer who I dance with and practice with, but this is where the gray area comes into play, and I'm just going to adapt to it. And I feel like, adapting to the fly of it, that's really where the magic happens. That's when that's really when the best stuff really happens, when the unexpected stuff arises and it forces you to be in the moment. Man, I can't tell you how many shows I've seen, I've witnessed and been in where I'm like, wow, I can't believe that just happened, because I wasn't expecting it. What else do I do? Don't drink alcohol. I'm just going to throw that in there. I was kind of random, but don't do drugs, because I'll tell you a funny story. Like when I was in my 20s, I started I'm not a big drinker, but when I do drink, I get buzzed. And so I was like, I can just drink alcohol and it'll take away the fear whenever I'm on stage. So I started just drinking, and then I realized I had no fear on stage, but at the same time, I was less funny. Everything was just dull to me because I wasn't there. I wasn't alive. I wasn't present. In fact, I see a lot of comedians, to this day, and there's a lot of guys, I'm just like, dude, they could be so much funnier if they weren't alcoholics. So because they go on totally blasted, totally wasted. And I remember when they were funny, when they weren't drinking, and now they're just getting, shit-faced on stage, and they're kind of rolling over jokes, or if they even have jokes, or they're potheads. The pot thing is another thing that can just kill your ambition. Yes, you can network through pot and drugs, but you got to watch it, make sure it doesn't bleed into your performance. So if you can find a way to go on stage or do a taping or audition without getting high, that's probably going to save you years in your career. Here's the thing. What people see is what they see, right? Nobody knows what's going on behind that veneer. I bet you, a lot of my friends think I'm really confident when they see me on stage or in front of it. Not my friends, but my people who don't know me. They're like, oh, this guy's probably just naturally like this. He's just confident and he knows what he's doing. But they don't see all the work that goes on behind it. Nobody ever sees that. They only see what's in front of them. And, even you watch your favorite newscaster or whoever or commentator, there's teleprompters in front of them. Yeah, and they're that good, where they can actually infuse emotion while reading the words off a teleprompter. But if you do it enough, you have enough practice at it, I really think it becomes second nature. The fear will never go away. In fact, I heard Bill Burr say that. So Bill Burr's a comedian, and they asked him, and he was like, no, it never goes away. He's like, I'm always scared shitless before I go on stage. But if you practice enough, it almost becomes a part of you, breathing, right? I really don't think anything of it performing. Actually, I probably do now, but I used to think, all right, I'm going to perform for 80 people in Mesquite, Nevada tonight. I'm going to perform for 200 in some corporate thing. It's almost like the audience becomes this monolithic mass in front of you. You don't think of them as individuals. They're just this entity. When I was doing that Showbiz India stuff, it goes out to a lot of people. Honestly, it does. Indians watch it across the U.S. But all I'm thinking about is, all right, nobody's here except for these 5 people who I'm interacting with, and that's it. And you got to just be in the moment when it's time to go. So I hope this was followable. I hope this made some sense to you. And I wish you nothing but the best. I'm going to go back to drinking my Baileys. What time is it? 10:15? It's going to be a great day, everyone. Take care. Wishing you the best. Bye.